What's the haps, folks? This is Professor App here with a Let's Play of Pentiment. Last time we continued our lives in Europe, and we began our first step on painting the mural. So, after having a chat with Smokey about one of the tales of the early years of Tassing, I decided to go and have a crack at starting painting the early histories of Tassing in the mural. And I think this is a part where I had to make a decision about what I was going to specifically what I was going to depict in the mural. And I decided that I would try and depict what I found in the mines from the pottery. This is the early history about them using human sacrifice. And I do feel like that's definitely not going to go down well with certain individuals. I think, especially Father Thomas will not like that. But I think. Personally, I think it's important. It's an important part of history, and that they should depict it, regardless of what they actually did. And after doing that, I also decided to write a few letters to people to try and work out some of Kearsau's history. So the first one I wrote was a letter to Matthew to see what he knew about it, given that he's one of the brothers who worked there. Don't know if he's the only one who's still alive. I imagine that he probably is. I mean, Brother Rudger was with him, but he's not of a higher position as Matthew is. So he gave me a few bits of information about what he knew, but he was definitely not happy to hear about us from Tassing again. I think he still holds a massive grudge about what the people did to the abbey. But he did tell us about to go and see some of the sisters up at the convent, especially some of the Poor Clares who might know something. And while I relayed this to Klaus, he suggested also going to see Elsa to see if she knows something about some of the early history of Kearsau. We're also talking about maybe going actually into the ruins of the abbey to see if there's anything that survived the fire, which would be interesting. See if there actually is something that wasn't found. Something that might even lead us to the mastermind. Maybe, I'm not sure. Because I remember that Andreas found that book that was all like a note that was written in the same hand as the mastermind, like that. That red ink and the same handwriting that they used. So maybe I could find something else in there. I also had a go at trying to translate the Latin in the Historia Tassiae that Brigitte gave me. Unfortunately, Magdalene's Latin isn't as good as she would like it to be, so she wasn't able to decipher a lot of what was in it. So she decides to try and give it to someone else, see what they can get from it. Now I have a feeling I've got to be a bit careful about this one, because I remember Brigitte telling me that she doesn't want us to mention that she's had it all these years, and so I'm wondering if I bring it to someone, they're probably going to ask, where'd you get this from? And I need to try and think about, who would be the best one to give it to, so either if I have to lie, they'd believe me, or if they see through the lie, they won't get Brigitte into trouble. So, my guess is I'm sort of torn between either Werner or Sister Gertrude, because I think they're both on friendly terms with Magdalene, and I feel like even if they do see through my lie, then they'll maybe still keep the secrets that Brigitte had it all these years. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I remember mentioning that Dr. Stolz might be one, but he's definitely not going to be happy with me about doing that. I definitely don't think Father Thomas will either, so I think that just leaves either Sister Gertrude or Werner. Yes, so I think my first step for now is I might go up to the abbey and have a look in the ruins and see if I can find anything in there. Also, one thing I will say about this one is that this one's definitely a much slower pace than the previous two parts of the game. I mean, obviously the fact there's no murder certainly helps, and it's a lot. It feels like it's a lot smaller in stakes. But I'm wondering if there's anything big is going to happen while I'm doing this, or whether someone will try and interfere with the mural. But I suppose that's something we'll look forward to in a few minutes. So why don't we get started and see what's in store for us? Right, so if I look at the map, yes, so there's Father Thomas at the church, and if I go to the map again, let's have a quick look. Yes, there's Father Thomas, the mill, that's for Elsa, isn't it? I think that's right. And then there's also the convent garden. Right, so the first thing I'll do is I'll head up to the abbey and see if I can find anything in the ruins of the abbey. I think that's probably a good place to start. And while I'm there, that's also a place where maybe I can speak to Sister Gertrude to see about translating the book for me. Martha and Carl. Don't remember these two. But it's still so beautiful here, Martha. One more moment. All right, take your time. Oh, hello, Magdalene. Dad, look who it is. Good morning, Mistress Druckerin. Hello, Martha. Carl, how are you today? On our usual walk around town, November hasn't grown too cold yet. Dr. Stolz said Dad needs to keep using the leg, or the pain will get worse. Oh, has he injured his leg or something? And I'm getting old. Not so old you can sit around at home telling stories. You listen to your daughter, Carl. Yeah, you do need to keep fitting your old age, I feel. You young girls think you're my keeper, is that it? I've always been your keeper, Dad. No arguments from me there. You're in a good mood today, I see. Plenty of reason to be. Tassing never ceases to be beautiful to me. Isn't the meadow as a wondrous sight, even in this season? On days the Lord strengthens me, I like going a bit higher up in the mountains. Used to admire the view with Anton from there. Who's Anton? Let's have a quick check. Not sure who Anton is. Ah, Anton, my poor boy. Oh, did he lose his son as well? There's a lot of children dying in this game, I've realised. Probably was quite common back then for children to die so young. It's alright, Dad. I'm sorry, Carl. It's not your fault, Magdalene. Just a babe, then. I can't... It's my fault that he died. It's not, Dad. You know it's not. He shouldn't have been with me that night. He shouldn't have... Oh, was he killed in the revolution or something? I was a fool. Let's just let him continue for a bit. The abbey was engulfed in flames. The heat, you wouldn't believe it. Seared the hair off my eyebrows. I was bleeding. Anton tried to drag me out of the fight. Then that godforsaken Landsknecht, is that how you pronounce it? Landsknecht. Mercenaries found throughout the Holy Roman Empire in service of the Imperial Army. They are known for their colourful and flamboyant fashion, their ferocity, and their short lifespans. Step between us. I hope he burns in hell. Did he kill his son or something? I can't even imagine what that was like. I still think of my mother every day. Nothing can make up for a loss like that. I pray I will see him in death. Dad, it's not good for you to dwell on these memories. I know. Permit an old man his weaknesses. How old were you during the revolt, Martha? 7 or so? I didn't understand what was happening. She's traumatised by it herself, to be honest. Someone brought Dad home in the middle of the night. It was dark, confusing. There was screaming outside. Mum and a couple of the men who brought Dad in were trying to patch up the wound, but it wouldn't stop bleeding. She kept shouting, "Where's Anton? Where's Anton?" There was blood on the floor. You cried so much you threw up. We couldn't get you to stop. I couldn't understand where Anton had gone. Dad tried to explain, but... Martha, my dear, enough of that. I'm so sorry. How did you go on? Did I? Oh no, so he hasn't gone on, essentially. Some nights I think I'm there still. The abbey's always burning. My Helena passed not long after. I was left alone with Martha to care for. Let's say, may the Lord bless and keep her. As he keeps your mother, Magdalene. I had to keep going for Martha, and somehow my daughter grew into a wonderful woman despite it all. Suppose that was all Helena's doing. Dad, if I'm any good, it's because of you. Thanks for telling me about the night, Carl, Martha. Time doesn't heal, Magdalene, but it does dull the ache. Not for Martha by the looks of things. It's time we continued with the walk, Dad. Yes, dear. I'm feeling much more alive now. Be well, you two. I'm not really sure who Carl and Martha were. I don't remember them much from the previous chapters. Right, let's head up to the abbey. I should talk to Sister Gertrude since she was a Benedictine nun at Kearsau before the Poor Clares arrived. She would be able to tell me all about the convent's history for the mural. Now, can I go into the abbey? No, I can't go in. It still can't go inside by the looks of things. Go to the shrine though. Can I look at the shrine? The Hand of St. Moritz. The Poor Clares take care of it now the Benedictines are gone. Right, let's go and speak to Sister Gertrude then. There she is. God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, sister. I have a favour to ask of you. Of course, Magdalene. I'll help however I can. Here we are, Historia Tassiae. I have a book, the Historia Tassiae, and I can't read it very well. Can you help me translate it? Oh, I'm afraid my Latin isn't good enough to translate something like that. Its grammar structures are far too complex. I'm sorry, Magdalene. That's alright, sister. I have to find another way. Okay, so I can't get her to do it then. There was one more thing, if you don't mind. It's about the Rathaus mural. Oh, did you need more paint? I believe I have enough galls stored away. No, thank you, sister. I have more than enough paint. I wanted to ask you about the history of Kearsau, actually. I'd like to include the abbey's founding and the history of Tassing saints to the Rathaus mural. I wrote to Reverend Matthew, since he lived at the abbey, but wanted to see the place firsthand. Brother Matthew became a reverend, did he? He was always suited to such a role. But I don't suppose that's what you came up the hill for. You're curious about the saint's history, yes? Yes. I was hoping you could show me around the convent and tell me about its history. The Poor Clares don't allow outsiders in the convent, even other women. Mother Franziska wouldn't like anyone coming in for such a worldly concern. And Mother Franziska, she's the leader of the Poor Clares, I suppose. Well, that makes my job difficult. Let me finish, Magdalene Druckerin. Let's have a look what she's saying here. However, Mother Franziska always welcomes those who are considering joining the order. If a young woman sincerely considered joining the convent, she may be allowed to enter and observe the sisters. Who knows what else she may discover while contemplating the holy life, So she's saying try and convert or something, right? Well, I suppose exploring all of my options can't hurt. Touring the convent will take some time. Would you like to go see Mother Franziska now? Maybe not just yet. See if I can find someone who might know about the book first. I'll say no, I have other things to do first. I'll come back later. I think let me just quickly check. So yeah, not Werner, it was Baltas, who could help me with this. Maybe I could try and speak to Baltas, see if he knows something. Oh, there's Apollo. Hey, Magdalene. He's not. Oh, there's Dr. Stolz. What's he up to? Oh yeah, Werner is Dr. Stolz. I see. Okay. He's drunk then. Ugh. Werner? Hey, you'll freeze if you stay out here. I don't have the strength to carry him home. I have to tell someone. Maybe Baltas. They're still on friendly terms. Naziu could help. Yeah, I think I know Naziu is, and that's the person who was with Baltas. Or Big George. He's strong. He can do it. What a mess. Right, let's go and see Baltas. See what he has to say. Right, see if he can read it for me. Hello, Baltas. Do you have a moment? Only one, I'm afraid. What can I do for you? I came across a book about the history of Tassing, and I was hoping you could help me read it. Oh no, not today. I'm far too busy for that at the moment. Naziu and I have our hands full preparing the Christmas ale, you see. Of course, sorry to bother you. Not at all. Apologies I couldn't be of more help. Ah, hello Magdalene, what can I do for you? I found Dr. Stolz passed out drunk in the commons, sleeping in a ditch. Ah, I see. This is becoming an increasing problem, isn't it? I shall fetch Naziu and we will carry him home safely. Thank you for letting me know, Magdalene. Just nods. Okay. Does that mean Does that mean he's going to get taken home or something, or do I have to wait a bit and then I can speak to him? I can't interact with him at the moment. So what am I supposed to do now? Do I just wait for time to pass or something and then come back later? Let's talk to Naziu, see if Naziu says anything to say. Ciao, Magdalene. Ciao, Naziu. Come stai? Yeah, hello, Naziu. How are you? Yep. Hey, bene. Is he Italian? Yeah, I think so. The winter is approaching quickly, no? What's it you say? Perkta pinching at your nose? You've caught on to our customs quickly. Yes. Baltas is a good teacher. He has explained many of your funny Bavarian sayings to me. I must admit, they are rather charming, even if the language is a bit rough to my tongue. Will you be staying in Tassing long enough to learn more of our funny sayings? I should return to Genoa soon, but Baltas and I still have some business to conduct. It has taken longer than I anticipated to complete. His accounts are complex. I may be forced to remain a few more weeks. Dio, who knows? Are you sure the bookkeeping is correct? You've already been in Tassing for so long. Oh, yes. The numbers are perfectly correct. Baltas has many large accounts to manage, and many interests across the continent. I only wish to return to Genoa before any heavy snowfall, otherwise my journey will take twice as long. I'll let you get back to your work then. Grazie, Magdalene. Until later. Okay, so bye to Naziu. Not sure. I don't think he's been around here before, has he? I think he's a new character in this part of the game. I guess the only person left is Father Thomas. So let's see what he says. Right, let's go and see Father Thomas then. Is he around? Ah, here he is. God bless you, Magdalene. And God bless you, Father Thomas. Do you have a moment? Of course. What can I help you with? I want to ask you about Tassing Saints. I'd like to represent them in the Rathaus. I'm thrilled to hear it. The Saints will make a wonderful centrepiece for the murals. No, not as a centrepiece, simply as part of Tassing's history. Of course. I consider our Saints to be central to Tassing's history. Kearsarge's too. But you know there is one saint you're overlooking. Why, the Blessed Virgin, of course, Mary. Many people forget that Mary is the greatest saint. And she visited one of the peasants here in Tassing centuries ago. The Virgin Mary appeared in Tassing. Why? Yes, she appeared to give a message. Centuries ago, a farmer in the fields behind us had 3 visions of Mary. In the first, she told him that she wanted him to tell the Bishop of Freising that she had appeared. The peasant travelled down to Freising, but the bishop would not see or hear him. That seems like a reasonable response, all things considered. Perhaps. Blessed are those who believe but have not seen. But sadly, the bishop did not believe. The peasant returned to Tassing and had another vision in the field. The Virgin showed him a pattern, a labyrinth. She told him to draw it on a sheet of birch bark and bring the drawing to the Bishop of Freising. Why didn't she just give him the labyrinth the first time? The bishop attempted to turn the peasant away, but he could see the drawing of the labyrinth in his hands. It was the same image that the bishop had seen in a dream 3 nights earlier. Okay, that's weird. He met with the peasant, who told him of the 2 apparitions he had seen here in Tassing. The bishop was moved by the peasant's story, and he came here, to Tassing. Okay, keep listening. And when the bishop came, Mary appeared to both of them. She told the farmer that the town needed to build this church. She told the bishop to support the town. I had no idea that's where all this came from. It's not a story I tell much anymore. I suppose the people here think of Moritz and Satia, their connection to this place. Mary is such a core part of their prayers that they forget about our particular Mary. But in any case, Our Lady's demands were clear, so the bishop helped fund the creation of this church. The people of Tassing have been using it ever since. You're not from Tassing. How did you hear the story? True, I am not. The people told me when I came. And the former priest told them when they were children, and so on. The priest and the flock have shared the responsibility of passing on the story over the centuries. Thank you for the story, Father Thomas. Have I convinced you to include the saints prominently in the mural? You know, you actually have. Excellent. I am glad to hear it. God bless you and your work, Magdalene. God bless you, Father Thomas. Our Lady of the Labyrinth. So, Father Thomas told me about the history of Our Lady of the Labyrinth and how it came to be. I never realised there was a legend associated with it. I could paint Our Lady along with St. Moritz and St. Satia. That would be a nice way to honour all 3. So maybe try talking to Father Thomas again, see if he knows something about the book. Hello, Father Thomas. Could you spare a moment? Yes, of course, Magdalene. What is it? Well, I found this book, but I can't read the Latin very well. Could you help me translate it? The whole book? Oh dear, I can't afford that much time away from my duties right now. The Christmas sermon is coming up, and I've already fallen behind on Advent preparations. Could the matter wait, perhaps? I'd be happy to look it over after the festivities. Of course, Father. Thank you, Magdalene. Okay, so they're all too busy then. Okay, so Sister Gertrude can't translate it well enough, and Baltas and Father Thomas are too busy with the preparations for Christmas, and Dr. Stolz is drunk. So I'm guessing I can't really do much with Dr. Stolz until a little later then, I suppose? Unless I may as well just go up to the Abbey then and speak to Sister Gertrude. Would you like to go inside and meet with Mother Francisca now? Yes, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's go. Mother Francisca, I'd like to introduce Magdalene Druckerin. The printer's daughter, yes? God bless you, Magdalene. Father Thomas told us of your father's condition, and we pray for his recovery daily. Oh, thank you, Abbess. Such is our duty to serve the Lord and the community that provides for us. Now, what is this about? Sister Gertrude, you know our holy rules. Why bring young Mistress Druckerin to me? Forgive me, Mother. Magdalene is searching for a place in the world, and is contemplating the holy life. I thought observing the sisters might aid her in her spiritual search. She was encouraged by the idea. Right. Yes, she's just going along with this. I wonder that you've never come up to the Abbey before, Mistress Druckerin. If God is calling you to the convent, I am more than willing to help you fulfill that divine cause. What brought this change on? Why are you interested in joining the Poor Clares? What would be the best thing to say here, I wonder? I feel like she's not going to believe that about Saint Satia. Let's try this one. I'm worried that helping my father, running the shop alone, and finishing the mural are too much for me. Magdalene, you should not abdicate your worldly duties for fear of the unknown. However, I agree that working a printing shop and printing and painting are not suitable duties for a woman. She's got outdated beliefs then. Thank God you have turned to us for help. It is no wonder you have felt overburdened by all of this. Please come. I am happy to tell you more of our order. Our small convent used to be part of the larger Kearsal double monastery, as I'm sure you've been told by Sister Gertrude. However, the Poor Clares live far differently than the Benedictines that once lived here. We believe that it is not ours to produce and live solely on the alms of the community of Tassing, as they see fit to give. Likewise, none of the sisters here own any personal property. We share this convent as a gift from the church. We believe that We believe that the Lord called us into a life of poverty and service. Does such a life appeal to you, Magdalene? I'm not entirely certain yet. I'd like to explore and look around, get a feel for the place. Magdalene, you must not have understood me. We have deliberately closed ourselves off from the world. I won't have a laywoman bothering the sisters from their duties or disturbing our rule. However, I will allow Sister Suzanne to show you our duties. Please take your time. When you have finished, please come find me and we will discuss your decision to join. Finally, I thought she'd never finish. What? Truthfully, I'm not here to join the convent. I'm looking for references for a mural I'm painting in the Rath House. Well, I'm going to take a look around. Where are we going first? The convent has many parts. The kitchen, the logwarium, is it? Logvarium or something? The chapter house, the yard, and the old workshop, though no one uses that old shed anymore. I'll leave it to you to decide where to go first. So visiting the Poor Clares, I've got Suzanne following me, okay? So, let's see. I've been given permission from Mother Franziska to enter the convent. Sister Suzanne will be accompanying me to answer my questions. I shall explore and see what I can learn about the history of this place. Marguerite. Oh, she's blind, isn't she? God bless you, Magdalene. So you got the kitchen. Oh yeah, there's a secret. There's the hatch in there which leads into the aqueduct, isn't it? This is the kitchen. There's not anything that interesting here. Sister Marie and Sister Isabeau take care of most of the kitchen duties, but everyone pitches in when needed. Yeah, there's something under there, isn't there? That's where Andreas and Casper were looking in the aqueduct. Marie? God bless you, child. Are you delivering something? Oh, I'm considering joining the convent, so Mother Franziska graciously allowed me to visit with you. Alleluia! Glory and praise to God. You've brought such joy to me this day, child. I haven't actually joined yet, sister. Do you have a strong stomach? Perhaps you can help Sister Isabeau and me in the kitchens. I enjoy preparing meals for the sisters that nourish us, but I can never bring myself to butcher the animals. Sister Isabeau has graciously taken on that task for me. We need sustenance, but I feel butchering any animal is wrong according to the rule of St. Francis. And St. Francis is a mystic, friar, and founder of the Franciscan order. Born Assisi to wealthy parents, St. Francis was called to a life of poverty and preaching. With his follower, St. Clare, he helped found the order of Poor Clares. Okay. To cause suffering to any living creature is unnecessary and evil, even if God granted Adam and Eve dominion over the animals. The kitchen seems fairly simple. Is there anything here from the convent's founding days? No more than the structure itself, I'm afraid. Cookware needs replacing over the years. Though, some nights, a ghost appears to me by the cook fire. A lost spirit trapped between heaven and hell. Really? Sister Marie, not this again. Not to Magdalene, please. Now, is there something more to this, I wonder? Like, is she actually seeing something else? What made you think you saw a spirit, sister? The figure rose up through the very ground we stand on at vigils, not a fortnight ago, through the grates then, I'm guessing. Dawn and dusk are the hours when the boundaries between this world and the spiritual world are weakest. Maybe the newest arrivals here, but this convent is very old. Perhaps there was something Roman underneath this foundation centuries before. Yeah, the aqueducts. The spirit may seek to know the presence of God now that it rests on holy ground. A spirit in Kiersat? Why would it come to the convent, though? It breaks my heart to think this spirit was crying out for help, trapped beyond heaven's reach. Why don't we keep going, Magdalene? It's better not to get Sister Marie too upset. Good idea. Of course. God bless you, sister. God bless you, child. Talk to Isabeau. God bless you, Magdalene. God bless you, sister. How goes the cooking? As well as the Lord wills it. My old fingers fumble from time to time, but it is my privilege to prepare supper for the other sisters. That's very noble of you. Just as God gave Paul a thorn in his side, so too did he give me the pains of age to strengthen my faith. Such things are a blessing when compared to the pains Christ carried upon the cross. But didn't Christ die so that we don't have to suffer unnecessarily? In the next life, yes. But so well, let's finish. But even Christ said we would face hardships while we live on in this earth. I have chosen to find meaning and devotion to the Lord through my hardship. Thank you for sharing your perspective with me, sister. You're most welcome, child. God bless you. Okay, time to leave the kitchen. Yeah, she saw something coming out from under the grate, didn't she? I still have no idea how this all connects, though. There's the chapel, there's the aquarium, and there's a courtyard out here. It's colder today. There's not much in the yard that could help you, I think. Anything that was here has long been covered in weeds. All I know about this place is that the walls were added when the convent was built onto the monastery. Oh, God bless you, Sister Benedicta. Sister Suzanne, God bless you. Oh, this ice is hard. Do I recognise you, Sister Benedicta? I think I've seen you in town once or twice. Yes, you'd have seen her. Sister Benedicta is the youngest of the sisters. Really? She doesn't look that much looks older than you. Mother Francisca allows only one sister to deal with the townsfolk. Benedicta received this privilege. Burden, more like. I have to run around everywhere, gathering all the food and doing all the chores. I'd rather be inside, where it's warm. What are you doing up in the convent, anyway? Mother Francisca said I could look around. Oh, well, don't let me get in the way, then. Actually, Sister Benedicta, I wanted to ask you some questions. Do you like being a nun? Oh, yes. I don't mind it at all. It's far quieter than home, and I don't have to share my bed with my siblings anymore. How many siblings did she have? I'd like to help the older sisters, and I don't mind the chores, except when it's cold like this. One more question, Sister Benedicta. Have you seen any mysterious figures or ghosts lately? Ghosts? No, everything has been normal recently. Haven't noticed anything odd. Is this about Sister Marie's ghost? I think it's Mauritius, myself. Oh no. So there is a ghost in the Abbey. Well, I haven't seen anything myself, but if there is a ghost, I like to think it's Mauritius. Don't tell Mother Francisca this, but I found an old book about Christian legends hidden in the workshop. It said that a Roman commander named Mauritius conquered Tassing, but the colony failed. Most of the town was empty until Christian refugees found the town hidden in the valley. It was a miracle. I wonder if this is a different retelling of St. Moritz saving Tassing. Oh, maybe. I don't remember if the book mentioned any saints. The Latin was hard to read. Anyway, when Sister Marie said she saw a ghost, I thought it must be Mauritius trying to get us out. A Roman ghost couldn't be happy about his tower being turned into an abbey, could he? What do you do with this book, sister? Oh, Well, I had it with me in the kitchen one day and I accidentally laid the fire poker on it. Accidentally. Stare in shock and horror. Sister Benedicta. I tried to fix it, but it's unreadable now. Sorry, Magdalene. I suppose it's best that the book got some use before it was lost forever. Besides, that story gives me ideas for the Rathaus mural. Thanks for telling me about the book, sister. I won't tell Mother Franziska. God bless you, sister. Haha, thanks, Magdalene. God bless you. Anything else I can do here? I'll go to the art studio. I didn't know there was an art studio here. The workshop is covered in dust. They probably don't use it much then. Yes, this was the Benedictine Sisters' workshop. They used to make badges and art for pilgrims coming to see the hand of St. Moritz. It looks like everything was just left here after the fire. Nothing's been used in years. We can't subsist on painting, and the Poor Clares don't produce goods for sale, so we have no reason to be in here. That's a shame. But art allows us to find beauty in life. Even Christ said the Father clothed the lilies of the field in beauty. I agree, but that's not the rule of the Poor Clares. Mother Franziska considers art's temptation into hedonism. Mother Franziska doesn't let us come in here, unless to put something in storage. I've come in a few times and noticed some of the brushes have gone missing. Paint pots too. I wonder if that was Sister Gertrude taking stuff like supplies out or something. You think one of the sisters is secretly painting? Oh God, no. We all live too close together in the convent for something like that to go unnoticed. In any case, I think it's sad the workshop is left like this. Truthfully, Magdalene, I don't think you should join the convent, even if that's not what you were here to do anyway. Gertrude talks about you, and you seem to love your art. Without it, you'd hate it here. It's probably true. Such valuable paint left to dry and crack on the palettes. There's an old parchment scrap here. It's different from the others. Oh, Mithraeum, that's it. That's the thing she was talking about. It looks like a scrap from a manuscript. There's something written in Latin in the margin. The Mithraeum of Tassing has been destroyed by a flood. Mithraeum? That's the same word I saw in the Roman section of the mine. No, Sister Benedicta, okay? Wait, this might be from the book Sister Benedicta found. I wonder why it would mention the Mithraeum. I don't know. It's not a word I've ever heard before. There's certainly nothing in the convent by that name. Well, the note says the Mithraeum was destroyed, so I suppose it doesn't matter much now. Okay, I wonder what that's got to do with anything. And on the table here, these old badges are beautiful. I hope the pilgrims who bought them love them too. There's nothing else in here, is there? Nope, doesn't look like it. Okay, back to the cloister. Okay, what's next on the list? To the chapel. There's Sister Gertrude. This is the chapel, where we all gather for Mass and liturgy. Liturgy, is that it? Liturgy? It's the oldest part of the convent. And the most drafty. Hello again, Sister Gertrude. The sisters have done some minor retouches over the years, but it has represented the abbey from its earliest days. Oh, there's the tower and the library. The cloister is still being constructed here. Yes, the tower has a Bergfried long before the structures became a monastery. Bergfried, a freestanding defensive tower, not built for permanent habitation. Okay. The duchy gifted it to the Benedictine order after the Holy Roman Empire grew. They had no use for it as a keep. These walls have protected Tassing from attacks of spirit and steel for generations. There's Latin here too. God called Lady Sabine to lead our sisters and brothers in 1261. Lord Kearsau's castle was destroyed by fire in the year of the death of Emperor Frederick II. Only the tower remained. Well, that means this will be remembered. Well done, Magdalene. Yes, the first lists the Abbey the Abbey's founding date. Lady Kearsau was actually the one who's to suggest the old castle be turned into a double monastery. We added the second shortly after the revolt. Mother Illuminator thought it would be fitting. Even if the sisters were not here, some record of what occurred would remain. Kearsau is unique. A double monastery with two saints, one male and one female, to guard the town and abbey. Fascinating to think that even before the Duke gifted it to the church, the fortification was founded by St. Moritz. The saints have a long history in these lands. Many things once thought lost are truly foundational to how we live. You were right, sister. This mural will be a great reference for the Rathaus. I'm glad to have helped. God bless you, Magdalene. Can I talk to him again? No, that's it. How are you faring? The sisters and I have been praying since Father Thomas informed us of your father's attack. Oh, this is new, actually. You're incredibly courageous to run to Dr. Stoll so quickly, especially when the attack could have been about. What's it? Hildegard's Physica. Medical treatise by Hildegard of Bingen, Saint and Doctor of the Church. It presents 9 categories of healing: plants, elements, trees, stones, fish, birds, animals, reptiles, and metals. I didn't even think of that. I acted on instinct. I only knew Dad needed help as soon as possible. There's no doubt that the Lord gave you the presence of mind in that moment. I'll lit an extra votive candle in St. Satia's shrine for each of you this morning. Votive candle. Small candles lit during prayer in churches, symbolising a specific offering or request on the behalf of the prayer giver. Thank you, Sister Gertrude. Dad's spirits have been up, but I know he doesn't have much time. Have faith, child. The Lord cares for Klaus, just as he cared for his son. I'll see if I have any psyllium left in the convent. If you blend it with broth or warm wine, it will heat his brain and prevent infection. Thank you, sister. I'm grateful for all the help everyone in Tassing has provided. The Church's body of Christ, Magdalene. We are all one community and want to help Klaus before his time. God will turn this for good, no matter what things look like now. He sees beyond time itself, but we are constricted by the present. I have been around long enough to see fruits even when I thought the devil had burned the fields. Keep faith, Magdalene. Thank you, sister. Your words warm my heart. God bless you, sister. God bless you, Magdalene. Interesting. I wonder what it means by saying this will be remembered, because again, it's not something that someone else I've said to someone or anything like that. It's like Magdalene remembering it. And then to the aquarium. Not entirely sure what one of these is. Here's the aquarium. Most of the Abbey's visitors come in here, but aren't allowed to enter. We aren't allowed to go into the outside world either. Like Mother Franziska said, isolation is a part of our vows. Sister Gertrude once told me that the old Benedictine sisters used to go out into town sometimes, even talk to men on occasion. Well, the thought. And I'm stuck here, staring at these walls for the rest of my life. Okay, what do we have to say here? It doesn't seem like Sister Suzanne thinks much of her life here. It must seem like a boring life to her. Even so, she doesn't seem to have the passion that Sister Gertrude and the others have. So I guess this will be like something that'll like, maybe I can sway her to do one thing or the other. If she hates her life here so much, maybe I should encourage her to leave the order. Best to leave while she has a future ahead of her. After all, there are plenty of young men in Bavaria who would make good husbands. Still, there may be some reason she chose to stay. I don't want to overstep my bounds. Do you regret your choice to become a sister? Ha! Choice! I didn't have a choice. My father promised me to the church as a baby. Some oath he swore when my mother struggled in her pregnancy, I see. So there I was, dropped into the Poor Clares the summer I turned 17. And they took you in just like that. Nobody asked what you wanted. Why should they? The Poor Clares help on the help. What does it say there? The Poor Clares. Rely. I see. The Poor Clares rely on the offerings of others, even their children, to subsist. My family is devoted to the church. I've only been in the convent for 2 years, but I'm trying my best. I don't mind the prayers or the hours, and I'm sure of my devotion to the Lord, but this isn't what I wanted. But since when did a woman ever get what she wants without being punished? Eve couldn't even manage it. I understand. I have more autonomy to go where I want, but I'm still bound by the expectations of marriage and homemaking. I remember the days of running around town. I wish I could have gotten married. I wanted to be a mother. Sometimes I get jealous of Sister Gertrude and even Sister Marguerite. At least they got to see something of the outside world before they were 20. If you could do anything else, what would it be? This will be remembered, okay? I would have liked to go to one of the big cities at least once. I would have been happy just to be a shopkeeper's wife. Thanks for listening, Magdalene. Anyway, let me show you the rest of the cloister. Lead on. Well, you've seen the entire convent, there's not much here. What do you think of it? I can see why people choose the holy life, but it's not for me. Not without art. I understand. You've dedicated your whole life to your work. You'd struggle to give that up now. It's been so long since I've spoken to anyone from outside the convent. I'm reminded of the life I once had. Now you have me thinking about whether or not I should remain with the sisters. Right, okay, I guess this is a decision now. Maybe I should say I think you should go. Oh, it's got Haggle background, ask what Suzanne wants to do with life, translated the chapel inscription, okay? You never chose this life. You deserve to have the life you truly want. Success! Very good. Magdalene, I think you're right. My family's devotion doesn't have to be mine. Maybe I can find a way out, in time. I'll help however I can, Suzanne. I'm sure we have some spare provisions at home. Really? That would be wonderful. So as long as no one found out, I'm sure they'd find out eventually. Anyway, we should return to Mother Franziska before she suspects something. I learned a lot today. Thank you for showing me around the convent. No, thank you, Magdalene. Today has been more interesting than any I can remember in the abbey. It's probably the best day of her life or something, isn't it? Come, let's find Mother Franziska. She'll be wanting to hear what you thought of the place. Well, Magdalene, what's your assessment of the Poor Clares? Is the good Lord calling you to a life with us as a sister? Let's go with this one. Let's say, I am compelled by the devoted life the sisters lead, Mother Franziska, but I'm afraid I must tend to my father first. Of course, I understand. Caring for your father is in itself a noble path. However, if your heart leads you bask up the hill, the doors to the convent are always open to you. Our community is quite modest compared to the splendour of an old Benedictine house operating under the rule of a powerful abbot. I see why fewer women are drawn to the order these days. Thank you for allowing me inside. You're most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you. There's Gertrude. Ah, Magdalene, how'd your little expedition go? I learned a lot from seeing the abbey. I have a good idea of what I'll depict in the mural now. But sister, there's something I don't understand. The abbey was so prosperous. Why didn't the monks rebuild it after the fire? What a task that would be. The chapel was beautiful. The stained glass always caught my eye in the mornings. There was a great deal of anger and sadness in Tassing that night. The abbot felt the brothers and sisters were no longer welcome in Tassing and moved on. That's fair, I mean they weren't welcome, were they? In truth, the abbey's dissolution was inevitable. Kearsau was running out of money and patrons. The riot and fire was simply a particularly awful and painful way to end a monastery. Did anything survive the fire? Some of the buildings are intact, but they're all terribly overgrown. I haven't dared forage in the rubble. I doubt you'd find anything of help for your mural inside, other than charred wood and parchment. It might still be worth taking a look if I'm careful. I worry after you sometimes, Magdalene. I really do. Thank you for all your help, Sister Gertrude. You're most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you. So can I go into the Abbey now? It'll be interesting if I can. 11 o'clock. I'll just quickly check if I can go in. Well, that was... I don't know. I did learn more about the founding of Kearsau. And that illustration from the manuscript, the Mithraeum, it was like the one in the mine. Is it part of the history of the Abbey? Of Tassing? It must be written down somewhere. If only the library hadn't burnt down with everything in it. The ruins are right there. Maybe not everything was destroyed. I can go inside now, I see. Right. Let's just have a look at that. Hang on, let's quickly check. The convent's chapel had a mural depicting the construction of Kearsau Abbey with a claim that the abbey was founded by Lady Sabine in 1261. I also found part of a page in the nun's old workshop. It had a painting on it of a strange building. Writing on the page said it was Tassing's Mithraeum and that it was lost in a flood. That's the second time I've seen a reference to a Mithraeum. What is it? I'm going to investigate the ruins of the abbey to see if I can find some answers. Well, let's just quickly go in and see what happens. Right, okay, so that's saved, but I think I will save exploring the abbey for next time. Oh, this music's interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's in here. Yeah, so again, I guess another fairly slower part, but I feel like exploring the abbey is going to be a very interesting time to see if I can find something in here. And I do wonder if I will find something inside that will be pointing me towards the identity of the mastermind. But hopefully you can look forward to that next time. And if you like this video, then please give it a like if you're not already subscribed. It really does help me out to get my channel known. If you want to see more content like this, like more of Pentiment, or if you have any suggestions for what other games should play in the future, then please leave a comment in the comment section below. And until next time, folks, bye.